So you guys loved the Hurricane video back in April, so I thought I had to do another video on Mr. Shane Helms. And where else to turn but to the obscure? Honestly, my favorite thing that Hurricane did besides the Rock promos was that of the superhero and training storyline with Rosey. Rosey was absolutely hilarious and he was gold in these segments, so I thought, what if I dove into some really obscure matches that I could find of this wonderful team? More importantly, I've chosen 10 of Rosey and the Hurricane's weirdest matchups, and I will be presenting them to you right now. Our first super weird match of this video takes us on WWE Heat on September 21st, 2003, as our resident hero, the Hurricane, and his superhero in training, Rosey, will be taking on Pat Cusick and Joey Matthews, the eventual Joey Mercury. The Hurricane and Joey Matthews will start this off with some weird strutting after an arm drag. Hurricane with the eye poke, he rolls Matthews into a La Magistral for a 2, and then clears him with the flying clothesline. Joey gets to tag to Cusick, and then the Hurricane sends his sidekick to give a handshake. Cusick then boots him in the gut. Rosey soon recovers with a body slam and a running headbutt. Hurricane gets tagged and they hit the assisted throw suplex. Cusick then breaks up the pin. Hurricane gets the whip countered, he then stomps on Matthews' hand and gets laid out by Pat's clothesline. Matthew lays in some offense on Hurricane for a little bit, Cusick then hits a suplex for a 2. They then alternate tags in the working holds. Hurricane counters Joey's neckbreaker and hits like an overhook neckbreaker before he tags in Rosey, who starts giving his opponents the business and the big back body drop on Cusick followed by the leg drop before Joey breaks up the pin. Rosey puts both of his opponents in the corner and squishes them. Hurricane then jumps off the top with the flying crossbody onto Matthews for the 2. Rosey clears out Pat, he then powers Joey up, and our heroes hit a Samoan drop neckbreaker move, which was pretty cool, and they score the 3 count. 1 month later, back on Heat, and our heroic duo takes on the team of Arch Kincaid and Bobby Roode. Yes, that Bobby Roode. Completely unrecognizable with the blonde hair and the purple trunks. The Hurricane and Arch Kincaid will kick this match off with the collar and elbow.
The sexual intellectual, Arch Kincaid.
The sexual intellectual gets flattened with a clothesline. Rosey gets the tag, Arch tries to punch Rosey in the belly, but Rosey applauds his efforts and gives him a big smile. Rosey with the shoulder tackle, the running start, and the diving headbutt for the 2 count. Kincaid rakes at the eyes and tags in Bobby Roode, where Rosey then rolls through the double team attempt and gives them both clotheslines. Roode runs off the ropes and gets a crossbody from Hurricane for the 2. Roode with the tag, double suplex onto the Hurricane. Bobby does the glorious pose and then Arch starts headbutting Hurricane's ass. After some time, Roode gets spiked with a tornado DDT. Rosey gets the hot tag and starts fucking the sexual intellectual. Up with the back body drop, and Roode gets planted with the sidewalk slam. Rosey drops the big leg drop. Roode drops an elbow and then accidentally hits his own partner. Rosey double squishes his opponents. Hurricane then runs into Roode with the Shining Wizard. They then hit what I will call the Hyper Combo. Shout out to Marvel v. Capcom, and they secure the win once again. Back on Heat 2 months later, and our fantastical super squad takes on the dastardly team of the Shane twins. Why the fuck these dudes look like super roided low-key clones? Rosey and Shane will start this match off in the corner, and Shane starts throwing some rights and gets laid out with a clothesline. Shane number 2 comes in and gets dropped with a belly-to-belly. Hurricane gets the tag and snags the crossbody for the kick out. Hurricane crashes into the corner and Shane number 1 clotheslines him on the apron. They start the heel tactics while the ref's back is turned. Shane number 2 catches Helms, plants him on his feet, and then gives him the Ridgeplex almost. Shane number 1 gets tagged in and they lay Hurricane out with the elbows. Hurricane gets out of the working holds and Hurricane drops Shane number 1 with the brainbuster for the double down. Rosey gets the hot tag and starts killing the Shanes. Big body slam and the spinning leg drop before Shane breaks the cover. Rosey barely rolls under the clotheslines and clears them out. Rosey then drops Shane with the spinebuster. Hurricane then tags in, and then Hurricane dives off Rosey from the top and secures the victory. And that was a really cool move. February 8th, 2004, and we actually get a rematch of sorts as Hurricane and Rosey take on 2 former opponents, Pat Cusick and Bobby Roode. Didn't think I'd see Bobby Roode twice, let alone at all in this video. Rosey and Pat Cusick start this one off with a gut kick out of the corner from Pat. Pat oversells a shoulder bump and Rosey bashes him in the face. Roode gets tagged in, and god, he looks even more unrecognizable. Roode screams at Rosey that he wants the Hurricane. Rosey then tags in his master, and Hurricane tries to roll Roode up early. Roode gets shit in his drawers after Hurricane draws the cape. Hurricane gets isolated in Roode's corner before Bobby hits a back suplex, tags in Pat, and then Cusick gives Hurricane a sidewalk slam for a 2 count. Hurricane lands on his feet off the back suplex and gives Roode a corner uppercut before the tag to Rosey. Rosey starts destroying his opponents with some body slams. Rosey drops the leg on Roode before Pat breaks up the pin and gets headbutted over the top. Rosey plants Rube with the Spinebuster, Hurricane and Rosey hit the Superman splash before there's some confusion and Rosey secures the pinfall for his sensei. 4 months later on Monday Night Raw and on Flag Day 2004, we have a non-title flag match between World Tag Team Champions La Resistance and our true American heroes, Rosey and the Hurricane.
The hell is a flag match?
Well, this one will be whoever wins will get their flag raised and the national anthem sang. Nothing like the Battleground 2017 concept, which I like better. So of course you have to have the heroes to represent America, just like all good heroes.
Is your idiot brain getting fucked by stupid?
There's only 2 La Resistance members as Rene Dupree is on SmackDown, so Sylvain Grenier and Rosey will start this match off. Rosey tags Hurricane and hits the single leg dropkick for a 2 count. Grenier gets his line ducked and then Hurricane avoids a cheap shot from Conway before Sylvain drops Hurricane with the stun gun for the 2 count. Hurricane overshoots out of the corner and hits a blockbuster neckbreaker for the double down. Rosey gets the tag and starts putting the work in on Grenier. Rosey with the spinning leg drop, Conway breaks up the pin with a Rosey hits the double clothesline. Hurricane sends Conway with the head scissors. Eye of the Hurricane halted by Conway pushing Helms into the ring post. Rosey splashes Grenier in the corner to a huge pop from the crowd. Rosey tries for an apron suplex, but Conway trips him on the floor and holds his feet in place for La Resistance to steal the victory. La Resistance starts singing the French-Canadian national anthem with their flag raised in the air to my egregious listening holes being assaulted. The fans boo Canada as they should, and Conway is pissed. 8 months later, February 27, 2005, back on WWE Heat, and Rosey and the Hurricane will be taking on the team of Michael Yamaha and Shawn Spears. Yes, Shawn Spears. Speaking of which, Shawn Spears and Rosey will start this one off with the wrist locks and the arm drags. Shawn gets his leg caught.
Can't compete together for a couple of weeks.
Shawn with a great flip off the sunset, but Rosey just super teabags Spears and tags in Michael Yamaha. Rosey waits for the attack and Yamaha demands Hurricane, but instead he cheap shots him. Rosey with the headbutt, he tags in Hurricane for the single leg dropkick for a 2 count. Hurricane with the corner uppercut and the blockbuster neckbreaker, he pokes Shawn Spears in the eye, and Yamaha drops Helms with the back suplex. Spears tags in and starts putting the boots to Hurricane for a 2, followed by the sidewalk backbreaker for a 2, and then another 2. Michael counters Helms' attack with the Northern Light suplex for a 2, and then he starts figuring out what to do next. Hurricane grabs Yamaha's leg and hits a discus clothesline for the double down. Rosey and Spears get the hot tags and Rosey starts having his midnight snack with them. He straight shit cans both Yamaha and Spears with the body slams. He then hits the double big squisher only on Spears, followed by Yamaha hitting a dropkick to Rosey's knee. Hurricane lights up Michael in the corner, Rosey makes Yamaha eat his ass, and then they hit a move that I call the Eye Storm, and they pick up the win. 3 months later on Raw and World Tag Team Champions now, Rosey and the Hurricane alongside Super Stacy takes on the team of Simon Dean and YouTube's favorite wrestler Maven, and this will be for the World Tag Team Championships. Rosey and Maven start this match off with some crazy corner strikes. Rosey tags Hurricane with a body slam. Rosey then pops Hurricane up for a splash for a 2 count. Simon Dean gets booted off the apron, and then Maven hits a dropkick for a 2. Simon tags in and hits a neckbreaker. Maven tags back in, and they double suplex Hurricane with some sit-ups for exercise. The camera won't stop going off Stacy Keibler, and I ain't complaining. Yeah! Hurricane then gets the double down off the discus clothesline. Rosey with the hot tag, he then plants Maven with a back body drop. Simon Dean flip bumps after an axe handle attempt. Rosey then plants Maven with a body slam and then hip tosses Simon onto Maven. Rosey grabs both opponents, they whip him off, he rolls through, and then Maven and Dean get distracted by Stacy Keibler's hypnotic ass superpower. Rosey and Hurricane then plant Maven with the Eye Storm to retain the World Tag Team Championships. 2 months later on Heat, and we get our first 6-man match as the Heartthrobs and Tyson Tomko take on Rosey, the Hurricane, with Super Stacy in their corner, and their Super Pal tag partner, the world's largest love machine, Viscera. The Hurricane and Antonio will start this off with waist locks that I thought was going to lead to road dog humping. Hurricane hits a flying clothesline and tags in Rosey with the Sub-Zero style palette for his costume. Rosey gets kicked in the head and Tomko starts hammering on him. Rosey boots Tomko out of the corner. Tomko then avoids murder off the middle rope leg drop. He lays Rosey out with a lariat. The Heartthrobs exchange basic offense on Rosey. Romeo knocks Hurricane off the apron, cheap shots Viscera, but Viscera no-sells and headbutts him for the double down. Viscera eventually helps win this match after he has a 3-way hump session with the Heartthrobs before Tomko makes his way into the ring to cockblock. The Heartthrobs leave because they're insecure about their sexuality, and then Hurricane gives Tomko a flying crossbody. Rosey hits a splash, and then Viscera finally ends the match with a splash of his own to win this very oddball battle. 3 weeks later on Raw, and we have a 6-person mixed tag team match between the Heartthrobs and Victoria, taking on our super trio of the World Tag Team Champions, Rosey and the Hurricane, and Christy Hemme with Super Stacy in their corner. Hurricane and Antonio start this off again with a gut kick and a flying clothesline from Hurricane, followed by the suplex for a 2 count before Romeo breaks it up. Antonio gets tagged in and they drop Helms with a double Russian leg sweep for the kick out. The Heartthrobs get their licks in, Victoria tags in and starts booting the Hurricane, which by the rules, Christy Hemme should already be in this match, but either way she gets the hot tag and starts up with the clotheslines before she hair yanks Victoria to the mat and she starts choking the shit out of her as Hurricane and Rosey dispose of the Heartthrobs. Christy slides through Mike Chioda's legs as she continues to choke Victoria before he calls the match off, and the Heartthrobs and Victoria will win this match by disqualification. Last match and match number 10 of our video, and we're back on Heat on October 14, 2005, and we have a sudden death triple threat tag team match for the World Tag Team Championships. Your competitors will be the Heartthrobs, Hurricane and Rosey, and the champions Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch. This match will have that dumb triple threat stipulation of only having 2 people in the ring for this match, as Romeo and the Hurricane will start us off. Hurricane nails a drop kick, he then scares Antonio with the imaginary cape, hits a single leg, and tags in Rosey. Rosey hits the body slam and the falling headbutt, misses a splash in the corner. Antonio then gets the tag and fights out of the Samoan drop to no avail, as Rosey then gives him a headbutt. Cade and Murdoch avoid the tag, and Rosey hits the Samoan drop on Antonio before Murdoch breaks it up. The Heartthrobs get a double face plant from Rosey, he then gets a double boot off their ropes and gets shit canned to the floor. Antonio tags in Trevor Murdoch and knocks Hurricane off the apron. Lance Cade takes Rosey back into the ring, and Murdoch begins the fist drops and right hands. Rosey lifts Cade up, and Murdoch gets a gut shot before Hurricane scales the top and gives Cade an axe handle behind the ref's back. Rosey tags in Hurricane, Cade then gets sent away with the head scissors out of the corner, big uppercut to Murdoch, and the missile drop kick to follow. Hurricane goes to the top again for the blockbuster neckbreaker, but no one's home. And the Rednecks hit Sweet and Sour, which that is not. Cade covers Hurricane and secures the pinfall before Antonio gets in the ring after and just gets his ass stopped out. Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch have retained the World Tag Team Championships, and that was some of Rosey and the Hurricane's most peculiar matches I could find.